especially blockchain will give them a lot of access. I have an extra buck of $100 sitting there, not doing anything, right? I can actually put that in as a supply chain finance, right? And then that helps the farmer, that helps the wholesaler, and that helps me.
But how do you see trade financing kind of evolving in the future? And what are one of the things that you're focused on, the ability to reduce risk for farmers and for everyone involved throughout that?
Trade financing or supply chain financing, it is a B2B matter so far. Okay. But what I see is that consumers, retail investors are going to get involved very soon because, especially blockchain will give them a lot of access. I have an extra buck of $100 sitting there, not doing anything, right? I can actually put that in as a supply chain finance, right? And then that helps the farmer, that helps the wholesaler, and that helps me. This is going to happen. At the moment, the existing banking system or financing system is that you kept the money, you don't know where it goes. You are happy with the meager interest you are earning. But where it is going towards is that you want to know how exactly you're putting money and what are the role it plays, and you want to take the risk according to your portfolio. That's going to happen. That is a major shift I'm already seeing. But what we want to do to encourage that, what we are trying to do is to bring the wholesaler institutional finance first, and you say you take the risk of 40-50%, okay, then let the retail take 50% more risk, right? And over a period of time we will just reduce and make that percentage biased towards the retail investor, right? So the retail investor looks at, okay, institutional investor means due diligence is looked after, okay? So somebody is taking a risk of 30%, okay, let me take a risk of 70%. Institutional investor thinks that, retail investor means I can invest more, right? So there are different hybrid models that can work upon. I don't have clear answer yet, but I'm seeing that this is going to be a retail subject going forward.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's I actually have like my view is completely inverse, I think, to yours. But maybe you're thinking about it in a different time horizon. Because I always thought that the trade, when you think about the gap, it's like we're talking about trillions of dollars each year, right? Like the numbers anywhere from 1 to 2. I think 2.3 is the number that one of our advisors has
Say
shared
that
with us.
again. Trillion.
Trillions, yeah. Like the
Yeah.
financing
Trillion.
gaps are in the trillions of dollars, and um, when you ask like how are you going to pull those funds together to bridge it, I always thought that at the institutional level, like you've got a lot of debt focused funds and banks, development banking institutions as well that could really sort of support that. And the big issue that we had seen, at least from our research and conversations, was that there's just an inadequate understanding of risk. So the banks and the institutions were just not prepared to lend at the rates that they would want to, which is favorable for the farmers, right? Um, and the only people that were able to do it was either they had that great understanding of risk, or they compensated for that lack of risk with higher rates, right? Which then obviously passes down to the farmers. But yeah, I'm curious if you could talk a little bit more about that split between retail and institutional investors lending money out, because you're one of the first people that I've actually talked to, um, outside of our company at least, that has this view. Dan has a similar view, I think, with a lot of things on this topic. But yeah, I'm just like what I'm
At the
just
at the moment, the retail doesn't have any avenue to invest, literally, right? Because the only way the retail can do is to deposit with the institutional investor, and they take the money and invest, right? Because even if they wish to, where would they invest, right? But that's changing slowly. And when we say, like, DeFi was a hype, right? They say that. But DeFi can bring this magic actually. Because when institutional players come and say, like, okay, hey, like, you all are staking in validator nodes, for example, right? Why don't you think that as the base of this, right? Let institution become the validated node and let retail stake in the institutional validator node, literally, right? That is financing the farmer, right? Or the wholesaler in here. And that probably will be a very simplified approach to the Web3 audience that this could work, right? Because I'm seeing the way institutional investors are bringing more cash, so it looks a bit overshadowed right now, right? Because you are investing 1 billion, and then another retail investor is putting few millions, so there is no balance. But that's the situation now. As and when we move forward, people are becoming more literate about finding their risk level and tools and how they can invest. They will take the matter into hand, because Web3 is giving them the opportunity to invest, which was not possible before.